All right, so we've all seen the videos about the new Engl Fireball IR pedal, but a lot of people are wondering, how good is it really? Does it really represent the amplifier as good as we hope it does? Well, today we're going to find out. Let's get started. All right, guys, thanks for joining me for another episode. So this should be pretty quick. I'm going to do both the clean channel and the high gain channel on both the pedal and the actual amplifier. Now, I don't have the Fireball 100. I had the Fireball 25 KT77 version, which, hey, I'm doing what I can with what I got. So let's see how close these are to each other. I'm not going to use a boost when I start out with the comparisons between the high gain channels on both the pedal and the amplifier, but I will engage a boost eventually and show you how they compare when that's engaged as well. Okay, so before we get started, let me explain a few things. The signal chain on the pedal is basically, I'm running the pedal through the PA50, the KSR PA50, into my Mesa cab. And the effects and routing unit I'm using is the HX Effects by Line 6. And the routing I'm going through with the KT77 25-watt version of the Fireball. It's just basically through my pedal board. And so that's it. So people are probably wondering, like, why don't you run the pedal through the power section of the amplifier? Wouldn't that be the most accurate way to do it? No, and here's why. Number one, this pedal is made to kind of take the place of the amplifier, right? So I want to see how it fares in a real world comparison. In other words, I'm going to take my own power amp with me to go to a gig or a show or a whatever, band practice or whatever with this thing, and I'm going to use my own effects unit as well. So why not use a real world scenario when I'm comparing these two? So it wouldn't make any sense to bring the pedal to a gig for convenience purposes, but also to bring the amplifier that it's replacing to power it with. I mean, that's stupid. You're going to bring your own power amp separately, probably a solid state, or maybe even the, you know, the PA50 by KSR or whatever. But anyways, that's kind of like, oh, I bought a new car, so I don't have to deal with this horse and carriage thing anymore, but I'm going to pull it with my horses instead of using the engine. I mean, that's just stupid, right? So anyways, that's why I have it hooked up this way, so that I can see how it compares in a real world situation to the amplifier as a replacement of the amplifier. Okay? I think I've explained this enough. And I have to do this shit because, man, the stupid questions I get. And the stupid, like, why didn't you do it this way? That's why. Okay? So please spare me of the stupid question. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to start with the clean channel on both units now. So when you see the amplifier in the corner of the screen, I'm using the amplifier. When you don't, I'm using the pedal. So as far as I'm concerned, that is damn close. If there's any differences between them, it's negligible at this point. So very good job on the clean channel so far. I mean, it is a dead ringer. And it feels great to play. It feels very similar to the amplifier. And regarding the feel, it feels pretty much the same. In a blind test, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two. So great job so far. So now let's switch over to the clean channel with the contour off, or the mid boost off on both units, and see how they sound. And again, there's no boost pedal involved yet. All right, so as far as the differences go, the pedal is slightly more compressed, just by a little bit. It's less open, and I think it's a little more saturated with the same settings on the gain knob and on all the other knobs. So the tone stack, gain knob, everything is all exactly the same on both. So, and like I've said before many times, I mean, the tolerances of the knobs are going to be different. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the gain down just a little bit on the pedal, and maybe that'll open it up a little more and be less compressed and less saturated. So now let's see, I'm going to put the gain at just at noon, and it's at 1 o'clock on the amp. So let's see how they compare now. So just so you know, I have to unplug one wireless and plug the other one in. So there's probably like 5 or 6 seconds in between switching between the units. So that's going to make my ears kind of forget a little bit of what I'm hearing. But all that being said, they're very similar. I would say that the pedal has a little more gain in it than the amplifier does, at least at these settings. So, and I said that in my initial video with the pedal. I was like, man, this thing's got a truckload of gain. So I'm going to turn the gain up a little bit on the amp. And I'll bring the gain back on the pedal a little bit at like 1 o'clock. So on the amp, I'm almost at 3 o'clock. I'm like 2:30. So now let's see how they sound. Yeah, the pedal is definitely a little more gainy than the amp, but hey, that's not a bad thing. You know, just turn the gain down if you don't like that much gain, but I think it sounds phenomenal. I think they both sound phenomenal. So that's with the contour off. So I'm going to go ahead and engage the contour on both of them now, or the mid boost, or whatever you want to call it. I always call it contour because that's what I have on the Savage. So now that's on, so now let's compare them again, starting with the pedal. Okay, so I think the pedal is a little more compressed. I think that's just the inherent thing about the pedals. I think they're adding that in there just to kind of, you know, enhance the pedal a little bit, but I don't mind it at all. I like both. I think either one would work, and I'm of the opinion right now that the pedal is a great representation of the amp, and I would not mind taking that on a gig with me at all. And leaving the amp at home, and I wouldn't feel like, oh, I'm ripping off my audience because I'm not giving them the true Engl sound. I'm not feeling like that at all. I think the pedal represents the amp very well, and the feel is great through both of them. So now let's just keep the mid boost on, and then I will pick the same boost pedal for both amps. I'm going to use the Horizon drive, which is basically the same thing as a precision drive on the Line 6 HX effects, and I'll engage the precision drive on my pedal board as well for the amplifier. So it's exactly the same in both units. I've shot them out before. There's no difference. So now let's see how they compare when they're boosted. All right, with the contour on, or the mid boost on, there's a difference between them, but it's not horrible. I mean, I think they both sound really good. It just depends on what you like, you know. I think that it still has that, the pedal still has that Engl sound, but it's just a little more compressed sounding than the amplifier, and there is a little bit of a voicing difference, but again, tolerances of the knobs, there's definitely some differences, you know. So, you know, while I am at it, let me just turn the treble up a little bit on the pedal, and maybe I can nudge the mids down a hair, because again, knobs and stuff. Let's see how they compare now. Okay, so the pedal still has more compression to it, and it also has a little more saturation, even though I made those adjustments. I think it was closer, though. I think that's just the way it is with these pedals. They're just going to be, or at least in this instance, it's just going to have a little more saturation and compression. But there's things I like about that. I like a nice, thick, compressed sound, where the amplifier, it's got a little more of an openness to it. Let me turn the bass up a little. And I'm going to turn the gain up to like 3 o'clock on the amp. And yeah, let's just see how that goes. I'm still with the mid boost on here. So let's try this one more time. Okay, so yeah, still a slight difference between them, but keep in mind, I'm playing the pedal through the KSR PA50, and there are settings on the PA50 as well, but I'm giving you a real-world scenario. I wouldn't bring the Engl to a gig that I'm bringing the pedal to. Why would I do that? That's redundant. So I'm just trying to show you a real-world comparison here. So that being said, there's probably some differences because of that as well. Now, I did see Kyle Bull's video where he compared them, and I think he ran the pedal maybe through the same power section. I don't remember, but it sounded very close. So I'm sure if I did that, it would be extremely close as well. But anyways, I don't want to keep explaining myself here. So now let's turn the mid boost off and see how they compare with those settings. Okay, so here are my final thoughts regarding just playing them outside of a mix. I think that the pedal represents the amp very well. It's got a little more compression in it. It's a little fuller than the 25 watt version of its counterpart. Now, something to keep in mind, the 100 watt Fireball is probably fuller than the 25 watt as well. So maybe that's part of it, because this is basically representing the Engl ball. So basically this is representing the Fireball 100, not the Fireball 25. So that's also something to keep in mind. But again, I'm just trying to do this for you guys to show you how close this pedal is and how good it is. It's a legit pedal. It really is amazing. Sounds good through the PA50, and I think it would sound amazing through a 100 watt power amp, or even like the ISP Stealth. That's also a very recommended power amp or a quilter, something like that. I think any one of those would suit it very well, and it would represent the amp very well. The feel is great on both the amp and the pedal. The pedal's a little thicker, a little fuller than the 25 watt version anyways. The 25 watt version is a great amp, but I would probably dial it in slightly different or use a different overdrive pedal with it to kind of fill it up a little bit, because the Horizon Devices Precision Drive cuts a lot. So, you know, because of that, it's probably not super suitable for the 25 watt version of the amplifier. I would probably use the odd box with it. You know what? Just for shits and giggles, let me do that. Switch into the odd box for the real amp, and I'm going to stick with the Precision Drive for the pedal. So let's see how they sound now. If you ask me, that did the trick. The odd box allowed the 25 watt Fireball to be a lot fuller. So now it's as full as the pedal. So I kind of like that. It evened the odds a little bit. So that's why I do these weird nerdy experiments and go the extra mile for you guys, so that you have all the context that you need so you can make the best decision that works for you. So yeah, I think that sounds freaking really good. They still have a different voicing on the top end, but it's nothing that would scare me away from either one of them. I think they both sound really good in their own right. So pick the best one that works for you, and I think you'll be fine. So I hope you guys found this video informative. And again, I want to thank Engl for sending me this pedal so I can do some videos with it. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So if you ask me, if you're like on the fence between either one, I think both of them are great. If you're looking for a budget-friendly version of the Engl Fireball, go get the pedal. It's awesome. I would totally play this on stage and not have a problem with it at all. So yeah, go get either one. I think they're both really good. Well, again, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. To all my Patreon supporters and subscribers, thank you guys so much. And to everyone who's been purchasing all of my capture, preset, and profile packs on my website, link below, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate that. So if you're looking for the best metal capture and preset and profile packs, go to my website, tonewars.com. I got a ton of amazing capture packs out there for you for all the digital platforms, and I know you're going to love them. Well, I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.